Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Ore and today I'm going to talk to you about a very important topic in Minecraft. Food. And especially we're gonna talk about one of the best sources of food in the game, which is mushrooms. But first, let's see our farm in action. So here it is, we have it down there. And soon we should see, yes, we are seeing mushrooms spawning already and dying down there at the hands of this Trident Killer. And as you can see, this farm produces cooked beef as well as leather in pretty good quantities. So let's turn this off and move on to another world where I can show you how to build this farm. Here we are. Let's begin at the beginning. Mushrooms are a type of passive mobs which spawn only in one biome. This, the Shroom Island. They typically spawn on a block that's called mycelium, which is plentifully available in this biome, and is this kind of dirt-like block with a purple-ish topping. They might be able to spawn on other dirt-like blocks, but I haven't tested it thoroughly. They won't spawn on concrete or solid blocks like that. Another thing is that mushrooms always spawn in herds. They spawn in herds of 4 to theoretically 8, but unfortunately, due to a bug in the game, their numbers are in fact limited to 4. I will link the bug in the description and you should go upvote that because it's bad for especially passive mob farms like this one. We would get far more items if that bug was resolved. Anyways, aside from that, mushrooms, like most land animals, will swim when put in water, as you can see here. And we are going to use that fact. So, the farm itself, let me get rid of these mushrooms. The farm itself is made up of 2 of these platforms. Here is the bottom platform and here is the top platform. They look very similar and they are very similar. But in fact, they are not exactly identical and I'll explain how and why. But first, let's see how to build this bottom platform. So it's very simple. Basically, at the bottom, we have here a row of 18 blocks of mycelium. And then we have a row of 18 blocks of concrete. And then mycelium, concrete, mycelium, concrete, mycelium, concrete, etc., etc. And we have a total of 18 rows. On top of the mycelium here, we have scaffolding, which, as you know, probably by now, allows you to place water on top of it, while at the same time keeping the block underneath it dry, which allows mobs to spawn onto it. Next to the scaffolding, on top of the concrete, we have nothing. And the reason we have nothing is to allow water to flow down. This way, when our mushrooms spawn on the mycelium blocks and push each other, because they spawn in herds like I said, they push each other into these streams here, start swimming up and then get caught into the streams. This allows us to have the mushrooms pushed towards the center. As you may know, mushrooms also sometimes spawn as babies. I'm going to try and spawn a baby here so you can see. Ah, we have a baby here. Okay, perfect. So let me get rid of this these mushrooms in the center, so we can see how to deal with that baby, because as you might have seen, the baby is still stuck in its row. And it's never gonna get caught in the stream, because it's too clever to go where water is. It knows it's dangerous. So in order to move this baby, we're gonna use a little trick. Babies, as you will see in the JSON file, have a behavior which is called follow parent. And this behavior is exactly what we're gonna use. As its name indicates, this behavior means that whenever a baby mushroom sees an adult mushroom, it will attempt to follow it. And that is true even if the adult mushroom is being caught in a current of water and moving forcibly. So we're going to create an empty corridor in which the baby will willingly move. We don't need to create a lot of holes like these. We just need one corridor. And as you see here, the baby mushroom has moved to the center. And if we place a mushroom here, for example, as soon as it sees it, it will run to join it. See here, it's attempting to follow the adult, and it's joined the adult in this hole in the center. So we are going to exploit that behavior to kill the baby mushrooms as well as the adults. So this is our bottom platform. Here, as I said, we have 18 rows of alternating mycelium and concrete, with scaffolding on top of the mycelium, nothing on top of the concrete, and then a water stream pushing mobs towards a 2x2 hole in the middle. The easy way to create that water stream is, first, I usually use slime as a placeholder like this. Then you take a bucket of water, and if you try and use the water with nothing here, as you will see, it doesn't work properly. You have to place again a row of placeholders like so, and now the water flows properly, and then you can remove these placeholder blocks here, and the water stays flowing in the proper way. Then you can replace these blocks like so, etc., etc. So this is how you build this perimeter around. So here we have our first layer, first floor. Then on top of the water, just above the water here, we're gonna place a light source. It can be anything you want. can be torches. It's just to allow the farm to work at night and to prevent hostile mobs from spawning. So you can really use your favorite light source. The light has to be above the concrete though. And the reason why it has to be above the concrete is that in this perimeter here we only have half of the spots that are spawnable. The mycelium with scaffolding is spawnable, but the concrete is not spawnable. So in order to cover these spots, we're gonna use a second layer, which is exactly identical to the first one, except it's shifted and the concrete is replaced with glass. Here I'm using stained glass. You can use glass, regular glass, or even leaves if you want. You just need a block that allows surface spawns to pass through, because mushrooms are surface spawns. So here it's the same but shifted and with glass, which means when this layer is gonna go on top of this layer, on top of the light here, these spawnable spots down there will be underneath glass and only glass, so they will remain spawnable, and then these non-spawnable spots will be covered on the top layer. So basically we have nearly 100% coverage on this farm thanks to the second layer on top. To finish this off, we have to build a Trident Killer. And as you saw, I'm using a very simple one, which is made up of 2 mine carts placed next to blocks. These could be solid blocks if you want. Let me make them solid blocks. All the glass here could be solid blocks. I'm just using glass so that I can demonstrate how it works more easily. So here it's I think it's fairly well known how it works by now. It's just these trapdoors flapping on and off that trigger the tridents, and the tridents are close enough to the mob that falls down here and enters the minecart that it takes damage. The big flaw of this Trident Killer is that it has to be turned off between sessions. If you don't turn it off, it's gonna break and you'll have to place the tridents back. It's not very difficult, but it's annoying. So this would be enough to kill our mushroom. See here, it's taking damage. And even if it falls here over the blocks that have no minecarts, its hitbox is big enough that it'll go into the minecart automatically. Here, there, here. So last but not least, as you saw when I initially showed the contraption running, we want the meat to be already cooked when it reaches our chest. In order to do that, we're going to use a lava blade. But we have to be careful on how we place, on where we place the lava blade inside of the chute. Basically, we want it above the block that is immediately above the minecarts. The block immediately above the minecarts will have signs to block the lava from flowing down. Then we have our lava, and here you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These mark the number of blocks above the lava blade that your chute has to be in terms of height, so that mobs don't die inside of the lava, because if they die inside of the lava, well, of course the item will get burnt. So let me demonstrate that. If I spawn a Mooshroom 2 blocks above the lava, you'll see it'll fall inside of the lava and kind of swim in it and die there. See? Let me do that again. And if this happens, well, the item is destroyed. If I spawn it 3 blocks above our lava blade, again, same thing. It swims inside of the lava and dies there. But if I spawn it here at this green level 4, you'll see it falls down and falls through the blade and onto the blocks underneath. Here and there. Our Mooshroom is there. See? Here we have beef and leather all being already cooked and ready to eat. So yeah, 4 blocks above the lava blade, minimum. So without further ado, let's move back to the main world and see the farm in action once more, and take a look at the completed farm. This, I don't know why it happens. It's a kind of weird bug. Sometimes the XP is found bouncing up and down on top of the lava, which should theoretically destroy it, and I really don't know why this happens. But anyways, so here is the farm. As you can see, we have, like I said, our shifted mycelium blocks with glass on top here. Well, here I used glass on the bottom as well, but these could be solid blocks as demonstrated in the previous part of the video. Then right underneath our top mycelium we have our light sources, which again could be anything. And then on top of the mycelium, both on the top layer and bottom layer, we have our scaffolding. Then in the middle here we have our follow parent corridor that leads babies into the pit. And in the pit they fall down through the lava blade, because we are more than 4 blocks above the lava blade. Then they fall down into these minecarts and get killed by these Trident Killers in order to increase the loot with a looting enchantment equipped sword. And this is roughly what I got in 1 hour. It's more or less 3,400 items. But anyways, here we have our farm running, and that's about it, I think. If you have questions on how to build some parts specifically, or on how to run the farm, or if you have ideas on how to make it better even, don't hesitate to hit the comments. And I guess this is gonna be it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye!